Yes, it does, but it also involves Rachel Meghan Markle because Fergie has all the tea on Meghan Markle and how she really met Harry and the circles that Meghan Markle moved in. I am here for it.
For anyone watching this interview, that when the disaster happened in May the 23rd last year, it was so raw, and you're so open to total.
Yes, it does. But it also involves Rachel Meghan Markle because Fergie has all the tea on Meghan Markle and how she really met Harry and the circles that Meghan Markle moved in. I am here for it. For anyone watching this interview that that when the disaster happened in May the 23rd last year, it was so raw and you're so open to much total well, if it isn't. Two snakes fighting because Meghan Markle's past is truly coming back to bite her in the... But it started with 5 words from Fergie, and now Meghan's past is under fire. Was her first royal connection really Andrew? And now, of course, as I've always said, Meghan Markle is like a little flag. She goes wherever she wants to go. It's popular now to be Jewish. I'll be Jewish. It's popular now, too, to be Anglican. I'm going to be Anglican. Forget everything you thought you knew about Meghan's royal journey. Most people believe she met Harry on a blind date, and boom, she's a princess in waiting. Cute story, right? Wrong. Give up the hope to changing the past. That is true forgiveness. I always would like to change so many things in my past, according to sources close to the gossip mill. Meghan's first royal connection wasn't Harry, it was Fergie, through Marcus Anderson, a well-connected socialite. Meghan was introduced to Sarah Ferguson long before she ever set foot in Kensington. Soho House events, charity galas, VIP lounges, these were her training grounds. She charmed everyone, left impressions, and learned the rules of a world where money, power, and influence meant more than talent. It's like her underwear. She changes it. I hope she does. At least every day. And every day, it's a new story. I'm a feminist. No, I want to be in the kitchen. I want to be in the kitchen. Some insiders whisper something even juicier. Meghan may have been angling to meet Prince Andrew himself. At the time, Andrew was still a fixture in high society circles, throwing yacht parties and rubbing elbows with billionaires, whether she wanted a connection, a story, or a shortcut to the upper echelon. Whispers suggest she knew exactly where to be. Fergie, sharpied and strategic, noticed it all. That tiny introduction suddenly rewrites the narrative. Meghan's rise wasn't a fluke. It was calculated, deliberate, and savvy. And it gets to a point where you really think enough's enough. You got to move forward. So yeah, I'm a single working mom. I've got 12 children's books out in the marketplace right now. Every future move, Hollywood media, and eventually Harry was built on a foundation few realized existed. And now, after Fergie's comment, that foundation was shaking. The timeline we thought was linear, shattered. Coincidence replaced by strategy. Ambition replaced by method. And the royal family. They just realized someone had been quietly playing chess, while they were busy looking at pawns instead of married with children. No, I grew up working as a 13-year-old girl at the froyo. Oh. No, I grew up on my black grandpa, a museum or whatever it is. Antique store. Before scandal destroyed him. Prince Andrew's life was the definition of untouchable luxury. Private islands, multi-million-dollar yachts, and parties that made Hollywood look like a backyard barbecue. Andrew didn't live. He floated. His circle was a mix of models, billionaires, celebrities, and powerful men who knew doors opened automatically for him. No one tried to impress. They just showed up, hoping the prince noticed. He didn't need to network. He was the network. But the Epstein scandal turned glitter into grime. Suddenly, every party, every yacht, every famous guest became suspect. Everything changes with this woman. And she gets away with it because nobody call her out other than us, the YouTubers. So we're going to get now into Sarah Ferguson. Sarah Ferguson now has gone from the loyal wife. This is why Fergie's little comment was pure dynamite. even the faintest suggestion that Meghan might have been anywhere near Andrew's circles. Before Harry, before marriage was enough to make Palisades sweat. The optics alone were catastrophic. Andrew's world had always been dangerous in whispers, but now it was explosive in headlines. Who stands by her man to now saying that this is too much for her and she's out of here? Which means, and I'll translate this for you, book deal coming, interviews coming, unless you give me X, Y, and Z. One name, one suggestion. One casual drop from Fergie, and suddenly everyone was calculating. How close did Meghan really get? What did she know? Who saw her there? The answers didn't matter as much as the question itself. In the monarchy, perception is everything. And Fergie had just handed the press the juiciest perception bomb imaginable. All about teaching children through their parents on the. Parents read the book about, let's say, Grandpa dies, and at the end there's 12 helpful hints to the parent from a child psychologist on how to deal with bereavement. Every Hollywood gossip column has legends of private yacht parties, but in reality, they were secretive, exclusive, and sometimes transactional sources from those. Circles whisper that Meghan was there sometimes mingling, sometimes working, sometimes just being seen at the right moment. Some claim she made money, others say it was purely networking. The truth, nobody really knows, but the image has power. Half sightings. Fragments of conversations, blurry photos. All of it combined to create the perfect playground for Fergie's little 5-word bomb. 'Cause he has nothing to worry about. It's standing firm and making certain demands to King Charles. Because King Charles is willing to concede, because King Charles has a little bit to hide, you know? And it'll become very obvious very soon. What made it so? It's dangerous wasn't proof. It was possibility in Hollywood and royalty. Possibility can be more devastating than reality. Linking Meghan to Andrew's circles, even tenuously, rewrites a story that everyone thought was settled. Suddenly, Meghan wasn't just an ambitious actress meeting a prince. She was someone navigating elite, scandal-adjacent spaces long before anyone knew her name. Yacht parties weren't innocent fun. They were arenas where deals, alliances, and reputations were made or broken. Fergie's words didn't just stir gossip. They turned shadows into something tangible. Something that the palace couldn't sweep under the rug. And that's the brilliance of it. The rumor doesn't need proof to sting. It only needs to seem possible, you know? And it'll become very obvious very soon. I don't believe that Charles is guided by love or family. He's guided by self-preservation. So Fergie now has reached out to the least likely person you would think, right? Because let's not forget, here's where it gets savage. The palace may control facts, but it can't control whispers. When a story has been half forgotten, half hidden, the tiniest spark can turn it into a wildfire. Fergie's comment was that spark, by suggesting Meghan's first royal connection might have involved Andrew. She rewrote the narrative before anyone even realized it. Suddenly, the neat, linear story of a Hollywood girl meeting her prince collapsed. Now it was a web of ambition, elite connections, and yacht parties with Meghan at the center. Insiders whisper about early 2000s charity events, luxury parties, and exclusive gatherings where Meghan and Andrew's worlds could have overlapped. And let's be real, the palace hates the could have overlapped. It's the ultimate nightmare. Plausible, unprovable, and utterly poisonous. Staff immediately felt it. Doors closed faster, whispers got louder, and tension pulsed through hallways like electricity. She gave an interview saying that she didn't know Meghan Markle or that she met Meghan Markle until the wedding day, that she never met her before. This wasn't just a rumor. It was a potential royal scandal waiting to explode. And the more the palace tried to contain it, the hotter the gossip burned. Because in royal life, suggestion is power, and Fergie had just handed herself the crown of chaos. Then came the photo everyone had been forgetting or maybe hoping didn't exist. Karina Shulio, Jeffrey Epstein's longtime companion, appeared in a new image. And beside her, partially hidden under a sun hat, was a woman who had people pausing mid-scroll. To most, it was nothing. A shadow, a hat, maybe a random guest at a party. But to those who had been following Meghan's early Hollywood years, like hawks, it was enough to make them stop breathing. And now she wants her pound of flesh. Now it's payback time. Meghan and Fergie are both exactly the same. People say, oh, Fergie never talked bad about the royal family.
Okay.
Because Fergie was literally blackmailing the royal family. The resemblance was uncanny, and suddenly past rumors gained legs. Every fragment of memory, every whispered story about Meghan at the yacht days came rushing back. What made this moment explosive wasn't the photo itself. It was the possibility. Nothing confirmed Meghan had crossed Andrew's orbit. Yet the palace and press alike now had fuel. Half-truths, fleeting sightings, and cryptic stories turned into full-blown wildfire. Because in royal gossip, possible is almost as dangerous as proven. Fergie didn't need evidence. She had already planted the seed. Fergie was literally blackmailing the royal family into keeping her there, which is what Meghan Markle is trying to do. Except that Meghan Markle did not know the royal family for such a long time. That single image gave it context, a hint that the whispers weren't just fantasies. The palace panicked quietly, knowing that one misstep could let this possibility explode into headlines. Meanwhile, the public didn't yet know the significance, but social media was ready to fill in the blanks. For insiders, the resurfaced photo wasn't a revelation. It was a confirmation of what they'd been quietly suspecting. Meghan's yacht days were Farmo. So those are the books, which, there's 12 of them. So this is Molly Makes Friends. This is, Adam. Get well soon, Adam. And here are all the other titles. The optics were brutal. If Meghan had navigated Andrew's circles before, Harry, the carefully curated narrative of her royal rise, collapsed. Suddenly, she was not just an ambitious actress. She was someone with deep connections to a world the palace wanted quietly forgotten. And Andrew, any loose mention of him, yachts, parties, or high-profile connections, now had renewed attention. Plane arranged by Marcus Anderson to Jamaica in 2017 to that wedding of Prince Harry's friend. Well, Fair Harry flew economy plus internal memos reportedly flew back and forth. Security checked and double-checked checked. Communications teams drafted. Contingency plans and senior aides braced for media storms that could spread faster than they could contain. The monarchy thrives on control, but control was slipping through fingers like sand. Fergie had simply smiled, leaned back, and let the storm start to form. I had to go out to America and to actually talk about these books. So the week of the devastation in my life, I had to go in front of 3,500 people and talk about children's books. For now, the palace holds its breath. Harry watches headlines. Meghan remains behind guarded doors, and Fergie, she smiles. That knowing, infuriating smile of someone who understands exactly the chaos she's unleashed. Secrets in royal life never die. They only wait for the right voice to wake them. Fergie's 5 words acted as a spark, reigniting whispers that had lingered in shadows for years. The threat isn't just the rumor itself. It's the possibility that a photograph exists, that a connection could be proven, that the palace narrative could be rewritten. Fergie, Eugenie, and Prince Andrew. Of course, it was a small place. What else does Fergie know? What else is waiting for the perfect moment to emerge? The monarchy can control statements, appearances, and events, but it cannot contain whispers, intrigue, or timing. And in this case, the timing is perfect. The scandal isn't over. It's just beginning. The palace can strategize. Lawyers can review. Statements can be drafted. But one truth remains. Fergie has the power of perception on her side. She knows how to drop a bomb, step back, and watch it explode. In royal life, silence is strategy, timing is power, and chaos. Chaos is irresistible. And right now, Fergie is the only one laughing. AI features. Feedback transform. Your transcript with a AI-powered insights output language AI responses will be in this. Language, English, Spanish, Espanol, French, Franque, German, Deutsch, Italian, Italiano. Portuguese, Portuguese. Dutch, Nederlands, Russian, Japanese, Rupanyu, Korean, Chinese, Jomwin Arabic, Arabic, Hindi, Polish, Polski, Swedish, Svenska, Norwegian, Norsk, Danish, Dansk, Finnish, Swami. Czech, Sestina, Hungarian, Magyar, Greek, Epsilon, Lambda, Lambda, Eta, Nu, Iota, Kappa, Y, Hebrew. Turkish, Turkey, Vietnamese, Ting Viet. Thai, Indonesian, Bahasa. Indonesia, Malay, Bahasa, Malay, Ukrainian, Romanian, Romank, Bulgarian. Croatian, Hrvatski, Serbian, Slovak, Slovenzina, Lithuanian, Latuvio, Latvian, Latvu. Estonian, Easti. Most used. Your top 5 features based on usage, no favorites yet. Start using features and your top 5 will appear here automatically. Popular features, summary, comprehensive overview, key. Insights, main takeaways, clean transcript, remove filler words, proper. Notes, comprehensive notes, basic content summaries and transcripts, analysis, deep. Insights and pattern study and education, learning and note-taking. Tools, content creation, social media and blog contents. Analysis tools, generated content, hybrid outputs from your transcript.